Africana Studies programming that reflects our global approach to Africana Studies, inclusive of continental Africa and the African diaspora, and continued collaboration with other areas and units is central to our commitment to creating a dynamic space of intellectual and social life related to Africa and the African world community. The aim of the Kwabena Nketia Center for Africana Studies at AUCC is to serve as the foundation of the university's commitment to ensuring that its overall mission is African-centered. The Kwabena Nketia Center for Africana Studies is an interdisciplinary institution dedicated to the study and advancement of knowledge about the peoples and cultures of Africa and the African diaspora through scholarly research, teaching, and publications aimed at the regeneration of African peoples and societies. Programs in the Nketia Center are designed to accomplish at least 5 goals. Number 1, to create and deepen students' awareness of themselves as Africans. Number 2, to enable students to come to an understanding of Africa's role in the world from an African perspective. Number 3, to give students knowledge of African philosophy, religions, and values that will instill confidence in them so that they can function as citizens and contribute their lot to society. Number 4, to introduce students to indigenous knowledge systems in Africa so that they can appreciate Africa's contribution to universal knowledge and be inspired by it. And number 5, to understand the African diaspora as a foundational presence in the creation of civilizations in the Americas and elsewhere in the world. It is my privilege to welcome you to the Nketia Center and to the African University College of Communications.
Spent quite some time studying about stools, the different types of stools, the white stool, the black stool, the mix of the stools, the signs, the symbols of the stools, the languages that the stools speak, and the hierarchy of the stools, the authority of each stool and how it's made, and who possesses which power based on the stool that they occupy. So today, we are going to be studying the subject on the golden stool and the God King concept, and this is actually one of my favorite subjects. On what a stool is, what it signifies, and what it represents, and what it says in both in ceremonial spaces and also in spiritual spaces. So, what is a stool in Akan chieftaincy? One may ask. A stool is the most important relic. The stool is the most important relic in Akan traditions, in Akan culture, in Akan customs. The stool is the single most important relic. The stool is more important than the gold. The stool is more important than the mineral resources. The stool is more important, even to a very large extent, over the people who represent the community. The stool contains the soul of the community. The stool is the centerpiece, the fulcrum around which the community revolves. The stool is the lawgiver in every Akan society, because whoever occupies the stool is the chief lawgiver, and whoever occupies the stool only has as much power as the stool allows them to have. So what is a stool in Akan chieftaincy? I would say a stool, like I said, is the most important relic in Akan tradition. Now, we will ask, what is a black stool? The black stool, like we discussed last week, the black stool is a special stool that contains the trapped souls and the trapped energies of past kings. So the black stool actually represents the physical representation of past chiefs and past kings and past royalty. So the black stool is actually the superior stool to the white stool. And then one may ask, what is the golden stool to the Asantes? We have the white stool in Asante, which is for the living. The white stools are made for the living. The black stool is made for the dearly departed. And then the golden stool is actually the power, the authority, the soul, the fulcrum. It is the beginning and the end of the Asante nation. The golden stool is the beginning of the story of the new Asante nation, because we will get into that. Everybody had their own source of power. Everyone had their own source of authority before the formation of the Asante Confederacy. However, with the emergence of the golden stool, all other forms of authorities were buried in the ground and they became null and void. And the history of Asante was commanded to start from the commencement of the golden stool. So please, let's flip to them. Okay, now we are talking about Akans. And one may ask, who are the Akans? Who are the Akans? Does anybody have any information on who the Akans are?
I don't know what trees speak.
Some people belong to the Breto clan, others belong to the Asuna clan, others belong to the Aseche clan, others belong to the Agona clan, and then recently a new clan has been approved, which is the Jako clan. The Jakos are those that left Adakojachi and then led by the Queen Mother Abnapoku, who crossed over all the way to settle in modern day Ivory Coast, and they are known as the Baoles. The Baoles are Asantes that actually migrated from Adakojachi, all the way to Ivory Coast due to warfare that ensued when two brothers were actually vying for the spot to become the Asante chief. So when we talk about Akans, we are talking about Akwapim people, we are talking about Nzima people, we are talking about Bono people, we are talking about Wasa people, we are talking about Fantis, we are talking about Nzimes, we are talking about different groupings that is bound by the common clan system, and then they are also bound by a common hereditary system, because all the Akan states have the woman to be the embodiment or the beginning of the family. So each and every Akan state practices a matrilineal system of inheritance. So these are basic things that qualifies one as an Akan. And who are the Asantes? If you say someone is an Asante, who is an Asante? Asantes, people think Asantes are people that come from Kumasi. No. People think Asantes are people that actually are part of the Asante Confederacy. No. You can be an Asante by birth, or you can be an Asante by allegiance. You can be an Asante by birth, or you can be an Asante by allegiance. Being an Asante by birth is when either your mother is an Asante or your father inherits a patrilineal stool like myself. My mother is not Asante, but I am Asante. Stools that were present in Asante at that moment were gathered and buried. How many of you have been to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital where the Konfanochi saw this? Has anyone been to where the Konfanochi saw this? You've not been there, but you know of where the Konfanochi saw this.